Alright guys, welcome back to YONAYIELD. Happy New Year first of all, hope you're doing great. So glad to have you back, and this will be the first video of 2024. And guys, believe it or not, I have some great news. We will talk about that right now. I passed the FTMO challenge finally again.
Hey, wait a minute, what the hell?
Sus. What the hell is that?
This doesn't make any sense.
Nah, nothing makes sense here, man. The only thing that does make sense is that nothing makes sense.
So step 1 is done.
Are you sure about that?
And I hope I can also be successful in step 2. But in this video, guys, we want to look into my FTMO challenge, of course. How did I pass it?
You've been in this room for 2 weeks. I insist you have to get out.
There's nothing of interest for me out there on Earth at all.
So that will be the first part of the video. We will look at the FTMO challenge itself, the account metrics in FTMO. And the second part, guys, will be very interesting. So guys, make sure to watch this video all the way to the end. I will reveal my strategy. How did I pass the FTMO challenge? What is my trading strategy? And I'm sure you can take a lot of stuff away from that, a lot of insights. So definitely make sure to watch this video until the end. It will be a banger. So without further ado, let's get the show rolling. Let's go, guys. Peace. Alright guys, and now as you can see here, we are in the account metrics overview of my FTMO challenge. So before we start, there are a couple of things you guys should notice. So first of all, why does it say deposit right here? It says deposit right here because FTMO had a little bit of a problem. Well, it's basically not default of FTMO, it was default of CTrader, which is the trading platform I used for this FTMO challenge. CTrader was having an unexpected big maintenance. It turned out to be big. First it said, okay, on the CTrader website, well, we will be in maintenance for 10 minutes. Then suddenly it was 1 hour. And this was totally unexpected. Not even FTMO was aware of that. You know, you could only find it out once you went to the CTrader platform. And then there it said, okay, we're under maintenance. And suddenly it said it will take 1 hour. So I was like, oh, that is sucks, because I was definitely in some positions and they went into minus. That was some problem that happened with CTrader. But the good thing is, and this is why I like FTMO, guys, you can always reach out to them via live chat or email. And when there is some kind of server issue, either in MetaTrader or if it is some kind of other issue in CTrader, and this is platform related, you know, not caused by the real markets. Of course, there are other things that can happen, like in the real market, in, you know, slippage due to news events or spread widening in the market rollover. These are kind of things that are due to the real market conditions. This is not FTMO's fault, and stuff like that will not be compensated in most cases. However, the thing is, guys, if there is a server related issue, so the server is completely unreachable or the platform is frozen, stuff like that, or like, you know, unexpected CTrader maintenance that suddenly takes 1 hour and should have only been 10 minutes, then you can definitely reach out to FTMO, and they are very transparent about these things and they will compensate in those kind of cases. So that is very nice and I like it. So this is why I also think FTMO is the best prop company, because they're so transparent. You can always reach out to them, talk to them, and they will help you and take care of your problem, right? And also they are fast with helping you. So that is very nice. So I reached out to them, and then this kind of minus trade that happened was compensated. This is why it says deposit here, right? The second thing, guys, you can notice, this also has to do with this technical issue that happened on this specific day, is, as you can see, I passed my FTMO challenge here on the 29th of December, as you can see. The thing is, if you go down here, the end date here is unfortunately messed up a little bit. It says now that I passed it in the future, like 2024. Unfortunately, even on my certificate, it says 2024 right now. This has to do with this kind of technical issue, because they need to compensate it. And then basically, unfortunately, the end date is kind of randomized, and so that will also be fixed. I also reached out to them already, and also this will be fixed. Then it will say 29th in the future right here, and also on the certificate. Right now, let's look at the graph, because the first thing, guys, you can notice, and this is also the first insight and first tip I want to give you guys. So if you look here at this kind of equity curve or account balance curve, however you want to call it, basically you can see it starts here at 0 on the 16th of November smaller, and you can see that it never went into drawdown at all. So that is very nice. And the question is, how did I do it, right? How did I do that? Basically, what I did in the very beginning, and you guys notice if you have watched my previous videos, I kept the lot size very small. And how I calculated that, we will talk about this later in the video when we go over the strategy in detail. But basically, I kept the lot size very slow, and my goal was to keep the lot size small until I'm at like 3k profit at least, you know, until I'm like 2k, 2.5k or 3k up. So guys, with that being said, this is also my first tip: keep the lot size small and build a buffer with your profits. Okay, why do we want to keep the lot size small? Because we have unlimited time to pass this FTMO challenge, so there is no rush at all. And the most important thing is we want to keep our risk and psychology in check at all time. And how can we do this if the lot size is very small and we don't even go in drawdown in the beginning, right? Because guys, like I always say in my videos, also in the last videos, leverage is our enemy. Leverage is the #1 reason why everybody is failing, and therefore we want to keep the lot size as small as possible so that our leverage is small and we don't get into the trap of over leveraging or over trading. Because once you increase the lot size, all of the stuff happens with your psychology. All of these problems suddenly manifest. It doesn't matter how many years of experience you have, how good you are, the leverage is just killing you. The leverage will kill your psychology if you trade with those big lot sizes, right? And because I know that, I kept the lot size very small. As you can see guys, I took my time here. I started on the 16th of November, traded right here all the way until December. So this is already half a month. I kept on trading right here, right until like the 10th of December. At that point guys, I was very close at the 3k profit. As you can see right here, I was at 2.7k. So then I started to increase the lot size a little bit, right? Because I don't want to take forever to pass the FTMO challenge, you know, but I want to be as slow as I can, but also not take like a whole year if possible. So I wanted to increase the lot size a little bit, and you can see right away this backfired and I went into a drawdown, which is expected. Once you increase the lot size, stuff will happen, right? Unfortunately. So I went back down, but then got a lucky trade here and came back up again. But keep in mind, all of this is still over the zero line, which was the goal to begin with. You know, use the profit buffer that you have with the increased lot size to get to the goal a little bit faster. So here this trade brought me back again to like 3.5k in profit. Then took it a little bit slow again because I was kind of, you know, thinking about this drawdown, which was not so nice. So took it a little bit slow again to help my psychology. And then guys, now this kind of part happened right here. So we need to talk about that one, because this is the part that I'm really not proud of, not happy about, and also disappointed in myself, I should say. I do have 10 years of experience, but you guys know how it is with challenges. You will always get into some psychological problem with time. This is not only with challenges, it's also a problem with trading overall. And what happened basically, you can see guys, I was on a winning streak. I was already almost 6k up, you know, 5.8k, 5.9k, and I got a little bit euphoric at that time because I was like, oh, you know, almost done. And I was thinking nothing can happen to me anymore. And I was like, okay, you know, last time I increased the lot size at 3k, now around 6k, let's increase it a little bit more so I can pass it in the next week or something like that, right? Which hindsight is stupid. Don't increase the lot size. I could have just kept the same lot size and, you know, take my time, take another 3 weeks or however long it takes, go into the profit target safely. But unfortunately I was a little bit you know, excited, increased it, and that of course backfired right away, and that's why I have this drawdown right here. So unfortunately that happened, and after this you can see there was a little bit of gambling going on. You can see this with the up and down curve, and you should not be like that, right? So this kind of part of the equity curve or account balance curve I'm not happy about. I wish it didn't happen, but it did happen, and I will show it to you guys here on the channel, of course, because I want to be as transparent with you guys as possible. And even, you know, me, I have 10 years of experience with trading. Even for me, this kind of psychological stuff can happen, right? Where you get a little bit euphoric, or where you suddenly lose and then you think about, you don't want to accept the loss, stuff like that. I need to say also that the drawdown here is a bit steep. This is also another thing where I'm not proud of myself. You know, my goal was to cut, in the worst case, the drawdown at 3K so that I never come close to the maximum daily loss. I think this drawdown, however, was kind of like 4K or something in the same day, which means that you would be very close to the maximum daily loss. However, the reason why I accepted 4K, I remember at that day, is I accepted this because I already was up in that day like 1K or 1.5K, so that increased my maximum daily loss for the rest of the day. So my maximum daily loss in total was not only 5K, it was 6K or 6.5K. So this is why I decided, okay, I can let it run until 4K, and but it was stupid. I could have easily cut that trade much earlier, guys, you know, at like 2K minus. Don't get into this gambling, you know, gambling cycle. I call it gambling because everything where I lose over 3K for me is like a gambling stuff in one day, right? And you know, and then at 4K I anyway had to cut the trade, so it was anyway a loss after all, you know, no reason to let it run. I could have easily taken it out, you know, accepted that 2K loss or 3K loss and be done with it, right? But you guys probably know how it is, right? Once you are in profit, like especially once you're 6K up, 6%, you don't even want to give away 2K in one day anymore, like, because your mind is just so fixated about, oh, almost at the profit target, I cannot give it away, you know. So that happened in my psychology right here. All right, guys, so then let's continue. So there was this sideways phase. It was definitely a little bit of gambling because we immediately made it back up again as well. So you can see this should have not happened right here, but it is kind of okay in my terms because we never went into the under the zero line. If that would have happened, that would have been very stupid, because then I would have to reduce the lot size all the way to the beginning lot size and start over completely again, right? Then I would have lost all of these 3 or 4 weeks or whatever, how long it took to get there, you know. But if that would have happened, I would have to accept that, you know, I would need to have accepted that, stay strong in the mind, in the psychology, and start over again, because there's unlimited time. There's no reason to rush it, and you can always start over again, right? All right, guys, so now you can see, so there was this little bit of a gambling phase going on here for like maybe 2 or 3 days, in which my psychology was not the best, which definitely is reflected here in the equity curve or account balance curve, and I could only afford this kind of gambling behavior because I was already in this big profit like of 6%, and then basically I made it back up, luckily. And here, once I was around 7K, I was like, okay, now I will keep it secure. So here, as you can see, I traded slowly again. Took a lot of time, and also it got close to the end of December. So for me, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can pass here anymore. You can see this is like 21st and 22nd. Here I left out some days, 22nd December, then 27th, right? There was anyway Christmas break also in between, and the market was just, you know, not moving much, right? And then I remember I was getting close, like around, you know, 8.5 or 9K. I was like, maybe I can still pass this FTMO challenge this year. And then I was then I had to decide, okay, will I trade now in this kind of layover period until the next year? Normally you should not do that. And I decided, okay, I will try it. The market will not move. I will just take a few pips there, here and there. And this actually, you know, kind of messed up my account statistics. It lowered my win rate a lot. Unfortunately, you will see this in the account statistics because the market was not moving at all in these days, right? I was opening position, there was nothing going on. It went up a little bit down, so I was in minus. Went out. I was like, okay, it's not moving. Opened a position, then it didn't move. Went into a little bit minus. Okay, I closed it again, right? So I completely messed up my win rate with that. But you can see I still managed to eventually pass this FTMO challenge even when the market was not moving much. And on the 29th, I made it very at the end of the year. This was like Friday, right? really the end of the year, I was still able to pass it. So that was kind of nice, but you know, unnecessary actually as well. I could have waited until to the next year and then get that last 1K that was missing in the new year, right? All right, guys, then let's have a look here into the metrics. So I'm proud of the consistency score. This one is in the 80 to 100% area, so this is very nice. Consistency scores shows you basically that you always have kind of the same consistent loss or same consistent win in the same kind of you know, amount. So you don't have very crazy big losses or crazy big wins. You always are stable and consistent, and this is what you actually want to do. For me, my consistency score was the whole time very good, except for when this stuff happened. Of course, here, this kind of gambling stuff in this one day or these kind of 2 days. This is when it also kind of dropped, but eventually I recorded some good trades again and got it back up into 80%, right? So I traded actually 29 days. So this is a whole month of trading, which I, you know, also would recommend you guys to take your time, don't rush it. You know, I was even expecting to take 3 months or 6 months for this FTMO challenge. I could do it a little bit faster because I increased the size sometimes, right here at the 3K and then at the 6K, but hindsight, like I said, don't do that too fast and too aggressively because it will not be good for your psychology, right? For me, like I said, this first increase at 3K, I would still do that again at the same like I have done it, because otherwise it would have taken forever to pass it. My lot size was very, very small at the beginning, but here, this around the 6K unnecessary. You can take again some couple of weeks and go into the profit target safely without having this drawdown all the way back to 2K or whatever it was, right? You don't want to jump from 6K plus into only 2% plus, right? Then you can see the maximum daily loss, okay, was 2.5K, so that is okay. Like I said, I remember, guys, I had one day where I was actually 4K in minus, and you don't see it here in the maximum daily loss because already in the same day I was up like 1 or 2K that I booked, and that's why I could in total lose 6K, and this is why the maximum daily loss only shows 2.5K. So in that sense it's kind of okay, but still I feel this kind of day that happened there was too much of a gamble, so definitely not proud of myself right there, and I think after 10 years of experience I should be better. I should also say about that, I was in work at that time, and I basically opened the position. I was so confident, like, oh, nothing can happen to me. I didn't even monitor the position properly. I just opened it, took a lunch break, looked at it 1 hour later, and with a small lot size you can do that. Normally I always trade like this. I don't try to look, I just leave it, whatever it's doing, I don't care. I don't want to be involved. But with a bigger lot size, which it was right there, it was right at the point where I increased the lot size, you know, around the 6K mark. Right there, you should not be like that. You should actually monitor your trade a little bit more, and I didn't do that. Suddenly I came back out of lunch 1 hour later. I was like, oh, 3K in minus. This is the first big minus. What should I do, right? And this is why then I had no choice kind of but to let it run a little bit more, and that was stupid. Okay, then guys, let's look here in the statistics. So it's not that good anymore like it was in the beginning, of course. Also because of the Christmas trading, I kind of messed up there, right? So basically the average profit is twice as big as the average loss, so that is good. I have a average risk to reward of 2, as you can see here, which is good. Then the win rate unfortunately is down. Not so happy about that. Normally I can get the win rate around 50 or 60%, which then gives a very good profit factor. But you know, also with this kind of Christmas trading, I totally screwed up the win rate, so it's not that good. And profit factor 1.44, which is not that great. Better is if it is around 2. Remember guys, in the beginning my profit factor was even at 18 and I kept it a long time around 5. 18 of course is way too good. Of course it can stay like that, it doesn't make any sense, but you know, I would have wished that I could have kept my profit factor around maybe, let's say 3 or something like that, at least 2, but that was not possible this time due to the win rate. Sharp ratio of course is not good, we don't need to talk about that. Sharp ratio basically measures your risk adjusted returns, right? So what you gain in terms of risk, and normally you want to have a sharp ratio over 1, but if you trade, normally sharp ratio is something for like portfolio managers, right, that don't use leverage, and their sharp ratio makes a lot of sense. But once you start trading with leverage, then your sharp ratio is bound to be bad, right? It's bound to be bad. And For me, my Sharpe ratio was very good in the beginning as well, when the lot size was very small. I kept it very small the whole time. But once I, of course, increased the lot size, then the Sharpe ratio was destroyed. So basically, yeah, Sharpe ratio is a measure that you basically use in portfolio management much more, and in long-term investing much more, but you don't use it basically in trading that much. And the reason is, once you start using leverage, then the Sharpe ratio will be destroyed, because your risk, of course, with leverage is much bigger, and then your Sharpe ratio will automatically go down, right? And this also happened to me. I had a Sharpe ratio that was around 2 or something, and now it's basically destroyed because I increased the leverage a couple of times. Alright guys, so basically that is it. We can look down here. I traded Euro USD, basically kept the lot size very consistent. Only this trade here, I'm not really happy about that. This was on the 29th, the market was not moving at all, so I had to get a little bit of a bigger lot size, which I normally don't do, to pass this FTMO challenge. And basically, you know, my profit was already 9k, I was 9k up. I was like, okay, I one time take the 10 lots and pass it in that day. I only need a couple of pips, right? Don't do that, guys, though. But you know, I was very confident that I can do it in that day, so this is why I did the 10 lots. But this is also the only time I did like 10 lots. Other than that, I don't do it. And remember, guys, in the beginning my lot size was consistently 1.5 or 2 lots, something like that. 1.5 or 2 lots in Euro USD. Keep it low. Only when I was at 3k, and then I increased the lot size a little bit. After, you know, I reached 3k, I started to trade 3 lots or 4 lots, right? And when I was up in 6k, then I was like, okay, now I can start to use maybe 5 lots, something like that, right? So basically that's how I handle it, but in the beginning very small. And we will come to the calculation later, how small you should trade in the beginning with your FTMO challenge. Okay, so then maybe let's look at this. I mainly trade Euro USD. You can see almost all of the profit was made with Euro USD. I did a little bit of German index, DAX 40, and a little bit of Nasdaq for fun, maybe a little bit more, but that was also in the very beginning. And GJ one time, but closed it immediately. That was a loss. And yeah, alright guys, I hope that was helpful and you could take away a lot of insights. What? Guys, there's literally walking a baby kitten outside, the cutest one I've ever seen. Need to go, guys.
Hi guys, Jayla here. Yona went quickly outside. I will take over for him and break down the trading strategy, with which he passed the FTMO challenge, in the next video. See you there.